Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Sunday the 21st of May 2023. And yesterday we produced our weekly update, which we are broadly repeating today but under a different thumbnail and header. Last week we saw gold and silver prices fall. However, they rebounded quite strongly on Friday. The question facing us all for the next week or two is, will this rebound continue because of what was said on Friday, or will the traditional diminishing of prices into the summer, as we witness year after year, prove to be the dominant factor in gold and silver prices? Well, we shall take a look. Now first, just a quick reminder and a request. We've set up a second channel entitled Finances Do Matter, and we've placed a link in both the description and the comments section below. In just a few months, we've gained 4,500 subscribers. We now have over 65 videos on the channel. And once we reach 10,000 subscribers, which we are targeting to achieve by around September, we will embark on interviews and live streams. Until then, in truth, it's difficult to get people to come on live. So if you're one of those listening to this and you haven't subscribed, then please do so. We would greatly appreciate it. Meanwhile, going back to what happened last week and what we expect to happen this coming week, we saw gold fall $34, falling from $2,011 to $1,977, having hit a high of 2,028 and a low of 1952, a fall of 1.7%. In sterling terms, gold finished the week at £1,592, that's down £24. And in euros, it closed at €1,831, that's down €23. Silver also fell, but less in percentage terms compared with gold. It fell just 13 cents, falling from $23.99 to $23.86. having hit a high of 24.23 and a low of 23.34, a fall of just over 0.5%. In sterling terms, silver closed at £19.20, that's down just 8 pence, and in euros it closed at 22.13 euros, that's down just 0.04 euros. As a result of this difference in falls between gold and silver, of course the gold-silver ratio also fell just 1 point, from 83.8 to 1 to 82.8 to 1. Now the difference between gold's high and low was $76, higher than the previous week's 51, and the difference between silver's high and low was at just 89 cents, and that compared with the previous week's $2.18. Now this is what we said concerning our forecast last week for this coming week. We therefore expected gold to trade between 1950 and 2075. Which it did quite comfortably. And we also expected silver to trade between $23 and $25, which again it did comfortably. Now we were a little concerned about the number of Fed officials who were speaking last week and the effect their comments could have on the markets, and there were some gyrations, though initially, until Friday at least, most appeared a little more hawkish than dovish. But in the overall scheme of things, they're all following a particular script, and therefore the comments were relatively balanced. Now before we look closer at gold and silver again, let's just look at the other financials. Bitcoin stands at $26,901, that's up just 77 compared with last week. Equities were marginally higher, with the Dow Jones up 126 points at 33,426. The S&P 500 up 67 points at 4,191. And the Nasdaq Composite up 373 points at 12,657. Oils were higher too, not hugely, but Brent crude up $1.41 at 75.58, and WTI crude up $1.51 at 71.55. The dollar index was also up some 0.51 points on the week at 103.19. So that's a rise of almost 2 full points over the past 2 weeks. Now, in terms of economic data announcements last week, we had the Empire Manufacturing Survey on Monday, and it came in at quite a large deficit figure for May at minus 31.8. And the retail sales figures announced on Tuesday for April, though positive at 0.4%, were half of what was expected. That was a positive figure of 0.8%. However, the various Fed governors and presidents speaking on Thursday, particularly adopting a slightly hawkish approach, suggesting that interest rate rises may not yet be concluded, or that we should perhaps not see any fall in the Fed funds rate in 2023, did hit markets a little and cause the dollar value to rise. However, speaking at a Fed conference in Washington, D.C. on Friday, Chairman Powell said that the central bank's Fed funds rate is now elevated to the point where its effect on consumers and business loans is high enough to restrain borrowing, spending, and contract economic growth. This was interpreted as a suggested pause in raising rates, which caused gold and silver prices to regain much of their losses on Friday, and could potentially suggest some bullish sentiment moving forward. Now, this coming week, we have more commentary from Fed officials. We also have flash PMIs, and the minutes of the FOMC meeting will be published on Wednesday. But on Friday, which is where most eyes will be concentrated, as we have the important PCE figures and personal income and spending figures for April. So, as is often the case, Friday will be an important day. And then the following Friday will be important too, because we'll have another US employment report. But that's on the 2nd of June, so we have a little time to wait until then. So, we may indeed have a pause in interest rates, but no guarantee that they won't go up later in the year if the economic data suggests inflation could start to rise again. So, what do we envisage is going to happen to gold and silver this coming week? Well, firstly, gold is certainly in a clear uptrend since the double bottom triggered a bullish reversal off last year's low of $1,614. We believe most of the excitement, frankly, will come towards the end of the year and potentially new highs reached. If you look at our 2023 gold forecast, we are anticipating higher prices for gold during the course of this year. So whatever happens in the next couple of weeks, in reality, in the overall scheme of things, does not really matter, unless you're a day trader. Our overall prognosis for the next few weeks is that gold generally is going to trade somewhere between $1,900 and $2,100, and silver between $22 and $26. But for this coming week, we expect gold to trade between $1,925 and $2,025, with $1,900 and $2,050 as outliers, and silver to trade between broadly $23 and $25, with $22.50 and $25.25 as outliers. What do you think? Please do share your thoughts. We do read them. We might not comment hugely on them. Please forgive us for that. But we certainly read them, and I have to admit that we do have some very good predictors amongst our subscribers. Now, just before we go, another reminder, we've placed a link to our Finances Do Matter channel below. Please go over and subscribe to that, and give us a thumbs up on this video. Subscribe if you haven't. Press the bell sign. Have a great, enjoyable, safe weekend, and a prosperous week ahead.